Hello. Hello. I have no idea if this is even working. If you guys can hear me, can you guys say something in the chat? Oh gosh, no one's here. Everyone left. Oh God, no. I'm live. Let's see. Unmute. Okay. Okay. Can everyone hear me? Good. Sorry about that, guys. I've been working on this all day and I wanted to have a ping tuber and it wasn't working. It really was not working out for me. So I really did try. Um, but yeah, I just ugh, sometimes sometimes just life gets in the way. So yeah, hi everybody, and welcome to the Skelly live Q&A. I'm gonna try to do this as best as I can. I tell everybody I am not tech savvy at all, so I'm just inviting some people in um, to see if they would like to come. If not, no pressure. Um, just trying to see if people might want to come in and talk. But let's see. If you guys have any kind of questions for me, feel free to put them in the chat. And like I said, this is all new to me, so let's just see how it goes. This is all new. Um, so I'm flying on a wing and a prayer right now and trying to do my best. So um, remember to guard your privacy. So yeah, I'm just inviting some people, seeing if they'd like to come, if they don't want to come. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I don't know. I can't hear anybody. No, no. I don't know if anybody is actually here. Oh, there's only one person here. So I guess people got tired of waiting for me, which is totally understandable. I get it. Yeah, it was hard trying to set this up, and I had a ping tuber that I made and everything, and it just didn't go the way I had planned. But could you tell us how you got into animation? Sure. So I was a 80s kid, dating myself. I was an 80s kid and used to watch, Disney afternoons and everything. So growing up, I loved cartoons, watched my cartoons, then got into anime slowly, growing up. And then I got to college, sorry, got to high school. And, that's when you have to start making, decisions on what you want to do for college. And I happen to be really good at art. I like to draw and all of that stuff. And my art teacher there said, why don't you try going into animation? And, my dad heard that and he was like, oh, go for animation because that's where the money is. So, of course, I always go with what my parents say. I'm pretty naive or gullible. I cave very easily to peer pressure. So I went for compute. I went to the Atlanta College of Art, which is now SCAD in Atlanta. And I went for computer animation, but I did a concentration in 2D animation because while computer animation looks great, all the nodes scared me. So I said I wanted to do 2D animation. It was a lot more work. It was a lot more payoff effort. And so that's what I did. And I said, when I get out, I'm going to get a job at Disney. But of course, that is when the traditional animation bubble popped. And so I was left without really a job to go to because everyone was learning 3D. And while I had 3D skills, I didn't want to say that I had enough 3D skills to actually get into a job. So, in a roundabout way, that is how I got into animation. I had just, gotten a degree for it, but I came back to Columbus because, like I said, um, the 2D animation bubble dropped. And so I went back to Columbus, Georgia, which is where my dad retired. And I stayed there. I got the very first job I could get, Aflac. And I was paying claims. And I had always said, just work your way up, work your way up, work your way up. And then I finally did work my way up. It only took 14 years, but I did work my way up and I started being able to use my animation skills with Aflac. So I was controlling the duck, the 3D duck, and helping with the puppet duck. So I actually got to do some of that stuff. So it's fun. And some of my commercials are out there that I did actually get to do some work with. So yeah, if you see the duck, you know, sometimes you can tell it's real, sometimes you can tell it's fake, sometimes you can tell it's 3D. But for all intensive purposes, the Aflac duck is the Aflac duck, is what I always have to say. Now I'm no longer with Aflac. I miss it because I miss moving a mascot around. But yeah. um, does the Hot Nana Skinder date voice in the film perk on Kickstarter come with an IMDb credit? I mean, if you want to put it on your IMDb, you could. But you would literally be a really bad, like all those bad dating apps and dating profiles that you find. You could say, I'm Dennis. And I bring up Dennis from Hell of a Boss, but you could be like, I'm Dennis in Skelly. no one, no one likes Dennis, but I'm Dennis because all her Skinder dates are just not, they're just not attractive people. They're just, and when I say not attractive people, I don't mean that in the physical sense. I mean that as in the my dating profile sense, where it says, I'm looking for a woman who is just going to stay in the kitchen and cook dinner for me. Oh my gosh. How do you develop your characters to drive the narrative aligned with your storytelling? Well, so that one is a hard one, and I have to go back a couple of years, like 12, um, where I was doing web comics, and I did web comics for a good bit of my life. That was what I started doing on the side, was web comics. And I had a web comic that was autobiographical. It was Casually Kayla. Please don't go to that website. I say it really quick now. Please don't go to the website. It is not what you think it is now. It's full of porn. Don't go. um, but I was doing a web comic and it was autobiographical and it was just about me and my husband living in the South and being an interracial couple. So, and just all the funny things that we went through, and like the stuff with his mom who couldn't understand why he had married a black woman, and and her being her closeted self. So it started with that. And so, I had two characters that I already could have a narrative with. It was just like us being the Kardashians, but we just weren't on TV. So, and I'm not as glamorous as Kim, if you think she's glamorous. I don't know. But so I was doing that, and a lot of the stuff, my husband was doing some really stupid stuff. Like most of the comics are about my husband doing really stupid things or stuff like that. And so I had always had a narrative for that because it was something that was happening in my life at the time. And then I ended up getting pregnant, and I kind of had to stop doing the webcomic thing. And I tried to bring it back after I had had my son. But it's just, webcomics is a lot. It is a lot of work. And I don't think people understand how much work webcomics are. So with that, I had always had a bunch of stories. Like after Casually Kayla, don't go to that website. I started to do a graphic novel called Carbon, and I had already had the character written out and, the story and everything. And I might still go back to Carbon in a different way. It might be an animation this time, but it was about a princess named Nakala, and she has heterochromia, and one of her eyes is always a different color. And it turns out that she is a clone of the real princess who has died, and it's a queen society, and the queen wanted to always have a puppet head that she could control, and so she had her daughter. And if you look up Nakala, it means it's carbon copy in Swahili. So I had always had stories running around in my head that I had always wanted to just invest in and do stuff with. So that one just didn't work out because I was trying to do it as a graphic novel, and that is a lot of work, especially when you're writing and doing the drawing yourself. It was just a lot. And so I had decided to put that on the back burner because I was just burnt out from webcomics. And I just decided to do, Skelly, which was easy to progress into because I just looked at it as it was casually Kayla aged up, so we still have the character Sarah, but a lot of it is me in Sarah. So I'm going through, or I have gone through a lot of the stuff that she's going through as far as being a graphic designer, being burnt out, being tired all the time, and stuff like that. So it wasn't hard to come up with Sarah, and it wasn't hard to come up with Skelly, and I always knew that Skelly was going to be something, and at first Skelly wasn't even Skelly. Skelly was this random ghost, that was in her closet. And I was like, you know what? Everyone does ghosts. And, Ghost and Molly McGee had just come out, which they had probably been working on it for a long time. And so I was like, you know what? Let's play on the trope of skeletons in your closet. And I kind of just went with that. And so I had my foundation, I knew I had a girl who was based off of some of the stuff that I did, and I had a skeleton in your closet and I had that trope. So I was like, that's my foundation. I'm going to build off of that. So it's two things that I had, which I call as my foundation. So the front and the back, just think of it as a house, the front and the back. I had my foundation and I kind of just built up from that. Like, what kind of weird adventures would these two people have? And a lot of it, I know I get a lot of questions on what inspired me to do this. And a lot of it was like Beetlejuice the cartoon back in the day. I don't know if anybody had watched Beetlejuice the cartoon, but a lot of it was very much based off Beetlejuice the cartoon and, Madoka Magica as far as anime and Monster, and Final Space. I can't sing Final Space's praises enough. I wish Olin would talk to me. Olin, call me. Final Space was just comedy mixed with drama that I had never experienced before. And I was like, you know what? I want to do a Final Space type thing. So a lot of that has inspired me to do Skelly. And so, I already had my foundation with that, with the two characters. It was just building off and what made it funny. And yeah, they don't sponsor me or anything, but I tell everybody, go out and buy plot folds. They're on Amazon. I'll share the link, but it is literally a four-folded folder, and you have your characters and you break them down. And I'm trying to look and see where my plot folds are. Sometimes I have them in my room, or sometimes I have them in the garage, and I just hang them up and go through that. But anyway, so the plot fold literally has what's your log line. That's the first thing it asks you, what's your log line, and then what's your summary. Then you open it up and it says, who's your main character, what drives them, what's their age, what do they look like, and stuff like that. So pretty much you write down what your foundation is. Do you have a secondary character? If you do have a secondary character, what is his name? Or what drives him? What do they look like? Blah, 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 blah. So then you go into that, and once you've opened it up, then you plot your whole script on that plot fold. So you have everything plotted out and outlined. And all you have to do is just go from there. So, and like I said, they don't sponsor me, but I need them to call me because I tell everybody about plot folds. They are amazing. And let me see if I can get the link and drop it in the chat. Love plot folds. They don't sponsor me. They should, because I pretty much sell their stuff. So, and it's just it's a good thing to have. You get four. They're pretty big. I'm sorry. They're pretty big. And when you open them up, they're just amazing. And it helps you, for anybody who has never, written for animation or anything like that. It helps you find all of that stuff and get it out there what? It is not gonna let me share? I'm upset. Let's It's not gonna let me share. It says I have too much text, but let's see if I just send that, if it'll come through. Um, but yeah, it just builds up. It gives you the beat sheet. It gives you a card outline. You have your characters laid out. You have your titles. You have your log lines. It makes it super simple to build off of that. And also, I would definitely, recommend getting a book called Save the Cat. And that is about story writing in general. It's a weird book, but it's pretty much how do you save that cat in any situation. So you get that book, you get those plot folds, you're set in my mind. And I think even if you don't want to buy these things and you just have a pen and paper, definitely just look up the hero's journey. And we all know that the hero's journey is there's a hero, and as he goes up his arc, there is a conflict and then there has to be a resolution. So, you plot how you get up and down that hill. So who's your character? What is the conflict? What is the resolution? And then you work backwards and get it there. Or at least that's how I work, So, um, let's see. Did I miss any more questions? Mm, thank you for sharing. So interesting. I'm glad you returned to. Yeah, I will say that after having my son, well, being pregnant, and that is a funny story. I think I tell everybody because they told me I couldn't get pregnant. And so I went to the doctor thinking that I had a sinus infection, and that was it. And I had already yelled at a coworker so bad. I was like, "You got me sick. I cannot believe you did this to me. I've been sick for weeks. I can't get over this. It's all your fault." And so I decided to go to acute care to get some antibiotics. And they asked what my symptoms were. And I said, I'm coughing, I have a runny nose. I feel like I'm gonna pass out. And she said, "Oh, pass out. That's not normal for a sinus infection." And I said, "Well, isn't it? You blow your nose so hard you feel like you're gonna pass out." And she was like, "No, that is not normal at all." And she was like, "Well, have you taken a pregnancy test?" And I said, "No, because I'm not pregnant, so we don't need to take one." And she said, "Oh, I'm gonna run one anyway." And I was like, "Well, you're just wasting your time. You can go ahead and run one all you want. I don't care. You're wasting your time." And so she, you do your thing. She ran the pregnancy test. I sat in there and I was literally like the worst person. Like I was arrogant. I was calling my mom and I was like, "This doctor thinks I'm pregnant. And that's not true. And she's crazy. And I can't even believe texting people. She thinks I'm pregnant. This lady must be crazy." And then like 15 minutes later, she walked in and she said, "Guess what?" And I said, "You wasted your time." And she was like, "Nope, you're pregnant. And the only thing I'm going to give you is Tylenol." And I was so out of it. I just said, "So I need to go to my primary care physician to get a second opinion, right?" And she said, "The second opinion will be the same, but yes, you can go to your primary care physician." I said, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go to my primary care physician and she's gonna give me some antibiotics because this is clearly a sinus infection." And that is how I found out I was pregnant. So random story. Random story. Um, but it's fun. It was fun. I love my son. He's 8 now. You know, can't even believe he's 8 now. But yeah, um, yeah, pregnancy was fine for me. I was just tired all the time. Didn't really want to do anything. No motivation. Just wanted to sleep. So, which I think, growing a person in your body, that's really all you really should do is just sleep and eat, I guess. So yeah, I couldn't, I couldn't, get up enough and have a buffer to create, a buffer for web comics when I was pregnant. It just wasn't gonna happen. And that's when I realized I just gotta stop. And it was bad because I had, fans of Casually Kayla. And when I went back up to Small Press Expo, which is in Maryland, and it's about indie uh, web comics and comics in general and zines and everything. I had one fan come up to my table. It was right after I had my son, and I went back up there and I had made a new poster and everything that had my son in it. And so he came to my table and he said, "So what happened?" He said, "You left us at a cliffhanger. What happened?" And I said, "Uh, look at the poster." And he was like, "Oh my God." And I was like, "Yeah." Oh, that was funny. Um, but, what was your inspiration behind Skelly as a character? Beetlejuice, and when I say Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice the cartoon. Um, and I think a lot of people know this about me, and if you don't, I'm gonna tell you. I have not seen a lot of movies, unless they were animated. So, like, this past 2 years, I have been watching, movies that people probably have already seen and I probably should have seen as an adult. And I actually just about, a month or 2 ago, I finally saw Beetlejuice the movie, and I was so in love with Beetlejuice as the cartoon character because he's totally different. I had just seen Beetlejuice the movie, and, it's on E, and it's like, "Oh, the movies we love," they have that little stinger in the corner where it says, "The movies we love," and we're watching it, and I told my husband, I said, "Beetlejuice is an asshole," and he was like, "Yeah, that's the point of it," and I was like, "No," I said, "The Beetlejuice in the cartoon is in love with Lydia and wants to be her friend, doesn't want her to have any other friends. Like, what's happening?" And then it just rocked my world when I saw the movie. And I was like, this is not a movie that I love. It might be a movie that everyone loves, but I don't. I didn't like Beetlejuice being a butthole. I guess that was my biggest thing. Like, I thought he was, like, Lydia's protector, and he turned out to be a really big butthole and wanted to marry her and all of that stuff, and I still don't understand the "Shake, shake, shake, Sonora, shake your body like" that whole part. I mean, I get it, it's supposed to be fun, but I'm just like, I don't get it. So, yeah, yeah, I haven't seen a lot of movies, so if I have inspiration for a character, it's gonna be from a cartoon that I used to watch. I just that's just what it is, a cartoon or an anime. And my anime tastes have really changed, since I was a kid. Not much, now that I think about it. My anime taste really did not change that much because I never was one of those, I wanna watch funny anime, like, I didn't like like, 5 seconds, like, Digi you I'm dating myself so bad. Um, I like Tenchi Muyo, like, I like anime that had a plot, and not so much that went on for months and months and years. Dragon Ball Z, I'm looking at you, One Piece, looking at you, Hunter X Hunter, looking at you. Um Yeah, so I just wasn't ever into I wasn't I mean, I would watch the funny ones, like Ranma 1/2 was one that I used to get really, big on, I loved it. Tenchi Muyo, of course, with Ryoko, that was always funny. Sailor Moon, of course, was a staple for everybody who started anime, but, like, I started getting more into the psychological thrillers like Death Note or Monster or Made in the Abyss. Stuff like that. So I've never really like, my anime has got to have a plot. It's gotta have a plot, it's got a point, and I know I'm gonna make a lot of people in the chat angry when I say this, but my anime like, I have anime rules. Can't be longer than 78 episodes because I feel 78 episodes is when you have reached your mark, that's it. Like, if it takes you longer than 78 episodes to tell your story, I feel like that's a problem. And I know I'm gonna make a lot of Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and One Piece people upset. 78 episodes is all you're gonna get out of me, and that's barely sitting still. Like you have me for 78 episodes, and if you can't finish it by that, I'm sorry. I can't do it. And I actually went up from 74 to 78 only because Monster finished in 78 episodes, and that is a masterpiece. And if you have not watched that, um, you know, you really do need to watch it. That's definitely the epitome of psychological thriller anime. It is so good. Monster is actually on, and I say all these names, but and I'm not sponsored, so it's on Hulu right now, which you can watch. Yes, I love Dungeon Meshi too. As not too, but also. I loved Dungeon Meshi. I could watch more of that. 24 episodes was not enough for that one. So yeah, Black Clover, not into. Takes too long to reach your plot, your plot point. I just can't. My husband really loves Black Clover. I can't get into it. He loves those underdog stories. And Asta is definitely an underdog story. You know, Asta is definitely an underdog because he's got no powers. Sorry, spoiler alert, but I think that's in the first episode. Um, so like I even stopped like Attack on Titan. It was good to a point, but I'm just like, how many times can we keep rehashing that we're killing a Titan? And oh my God, how many times can we keep rehashing that people we don't think are Titans are Titans? I just can't do it. So that's my weird anime flaw. And I think I started to feel like that, you know, after watching Sailor Moon, and I loved Sailor Moon. Don't get me wrong. It was just like we're kind of beating a dead horse here with Sailor Moon. Like we can only fight so many weird looking monsters that come out. Um, so yeah, that's just those are my anime rules. Like everybody, I'm pretty sure has anime house rules. You ask my husband, all he watches, he only watches isekais, where you're reincarnated in another world. That is his thing right now. Where I like psychological ones. So he knows that if I pick the anime, nobody's coming out of it feeling happy, and we're probably going to need to watch a little bit of something that's a little saccharine and sweet. Because no, if I pick the anime, it's probably gonna have a sad ending like Cyberpunk. That one pretty much left you pretty raw, or Madoka Magica. Um, I love Madoka. Um, and they keep remaking it, and that's the thing, they don't keep remaking it and adding on episodes. They just keep making movies, and they're beautiful. Um, which anime show could you see Sarah and Skelly guest star in? I know a lot of people want me to say One Piece because there's a skeleton named Brooks in it. I don't watch One Piece. I've tried to watch One Piece 5 times. I cannot get past the first episode. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um, but it would probably be um, mm, and it's stuck in my head. Gosh, it's the one with uh the girl, she has a they all have demons. Death the Kid, it's the prequel or it's the sequel to Fire Force. What was it? Maka and Soul Eater. There we go. Soul Eater. I could see them in Soul Eater. Possibly as comic relief. You know, yeah. I just don't like I said, I think with One Piece for me, it's the art style, which art is subjective. I learn that a lot every day because I'm a graphic designer in my 9 to 5, and art is subjective. And some people like the story over the art. I'm that way with games too. Like if it's like what is that game that everyone plays that's pixelated? Stardew Valley. I can't do it. Like it's probably a great game, and I love like Harvest Moon games, but I can't with the graphics. Um, what made you want to tackle the task of getting your animation fully produced instead of going the independent puppet style way? Well, we aren't actually fully produced. We are indie. So this is all, you know, all of the money that's being spent is my money. So it would be nice to get somebody as far as distribution. But right now, the animation world is so volatile, and the companies right now are just so volatile. I would love to stay indie in a perfect world if I was rich. I'm not. I'm not rich. And I think that's going to come out on an interview that I did coming out on October 10th, where I talk about, you know, the money that I did have to put into this and how I was scammed, and $26,000 was stolen from us that we didn't have. Um, So, yeah, this is all my money that I'm putting into it and having to pay out. So, yeah, we're still very much indie, and we're not fully produced at all. We're very much indie, puppet style. That was not an option. I'm not a fan of the puppet style. That's just me. Like, so for me, if I'm gonna put out a passion project, I wanna go all in. And to me, all in is not puppet style. It might be for somebody else, it's just not for me. I knew the style I wanted to look like. Like, a lot of people will ask me, "Why aren't you doing an anime?" I don't that's not how I saw Sarah and Skelly. I don't wanna I never did wanna cross the streams into anime, even though I grew up watching anime, and everyone I think who starts to draw, like, anime characters, really bad anime characters, like you would in, like, what, Turning Red, where she started drawing that guy, and you draw that in your notebook and you keep drawing these really bad people, and I think that's where I started, and I realized by starting there, that's not where I wanted to end. I always wanted it to be Don Bluth style or Glenn Keane, and those are my favorite animators. Don Bluth, of course, was from Disney. He left to create his own studio. He did my favorite animation, The Secret of Nim. It's beautiful. Anastasia, Anastasia, however you want to do it. Grandmother, it's me, Anastasia. Um, I love those movies because 'cause they're beautiful, even though Anastasia was totally and I don't know if a lot of people know that. Anastasia was completely rotoscoped, so it was completely filmed as a movie before they went back and colored and drew over it. So those are, like that's the kind of style I wanted. What tools are you using? It depends on which artist is actually working, so we all use whatever program works for us and we stick it together. We're gonna stitch it together. So a lot of us I know are using Photoshop. A lot of us were using Photoshop before they went crazy. Clip Studio Paint, Toon Boom, um, Procreate. I make most of my stuff in Procreate and Procreate Dreams. Um, so yeah, it just depends on the artist who does it. For most of my motion graphics, I do everything in After Effects. I do everything pretty much in Procreate. I draw and then I cut them out, save it out as a Photoshop file and then cut it up and do what I need to do in After Effects. But just like the Sarah dance was Toon Boom, and that was the first time that the artist, used Toon Boom. So, I'm proud of her because she did it, yay! So that was her first time using Toon Boom, and she killed it. How many artists are there? Right now, I think we have 8, 8, 9, 8, 9. No, 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 12. Sorry, 12. There are 12 artists. It was just me and one other artist at one point. And then, I had to realize that I couldn't do everything by myself. I couldn't do the animation, I couldn't do the marketing, I couldn't do the voice acting, I couldn't do all of that by myself. So then I had to start bringing on a team, and it's a very small team because, like I said, all of this is my money, so I can only pay what I can pay. And I always feel that even if you're indie and artists come on board, you should always get paid. I'm not one for having anyone work for free. You are an artist, you have honed your skill, that's your craft, and you should get paid what you're worth. And I try to pay everybody fairly and I try to pay everybody what they're worth, and I think, when I bring people on, that is the first thing that I ask them. I said, in a dream scenario, what do you want to get paid? And they tell me, and I try my best to meet it, just like with the voice actors. I said, "In a dream scenario, when you come on board, what is the perfect rate?" And I try to, pay everybody what they wanna get paid, and I try to keep it fair. It's hard, with just my income. It's actually the household income, but, you're taking from the house. Um, but it's like it's hard, with just using your income. And it was definitely a challenge, being that I just got off of disability. So I had a cancer scare and I had to go in for emergency surgery. And so I was on disability, which means that my paycheck got cut. So a lot of things had to stop, um, because I just couldn't pay people, and I'm not going to have them work for free and not pay them. So I had to stagger out payments and do the best that I could. Um, but yeah, uh, I I say that, I know, I'm talking about money, and money is like, "Ooh, we don't wanna talk about money." But I say that to say that anybody who's, like, on this chat, and if they're an artist and they wanna work on a project and someone says, "Oh, well, we can defer payment," it's up to you if you wanna make that decision, but I don't think that's right. I think you should be paid for the work you're doing up front, and we're not gonna defer payments, and we're not gonna pay one person more than the other. We're gonna make it fair, and we're gonna make it equal, and we're gonna make it right, you know? So, that's how I feel about that. Um, any more questions? And, once again, I apologize, guys, that I was so late. I really was trying to get it all cute and fancy and everything and have a ping tumor, but no, you guys got me. Sorry. Any more questions? I can sit here and wait for a while. Do, 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 do. Nobody? Any more questions? Blender. Why? Blender? It's free. Maya is bloated. Maya is expensive, a little bit too expensive. And I think if you can do the same thing in a free application, why not use it? But that's how I feel about that. I end a lot of my stuff very Forrest Gumpish. That's probably the only movie that I have ever watched before anything else because my husband loves that movie, and every time it's on, we have to watch it, and I have to walk away. How was it animating the Aflac duck? What were the challenges? Well, I can't really speak a lot of that. I can't speak a lot to that. Um, it was fun. Um, a lot of the challenges were, one, making the 3D duck look like the puppet duck because you have to have consistency. Um, and the puppet duck was very, very expensive. A lot of money was put into the puppet duck. So, uh, yeah, I can't really speak much to that, but it was fun. I miss it a lot. Um, I miss animating it as well. I don't know if you guys actually saw Park Bench. It was the animation we did with Mark Cherry, who did Hair Love and music scored by Nas. So we did a good animation with that. So that was fun too. Um, Congratulations on launch day. Thank you. How do you feel about the first day response? I'm excited. I mean, we got a lot of donations very quickly. I just hope that we can keep the momentum going, and I need every one of you. I need every one of you to keep the momentum going, share it around, get people to donate, like, get your mama to donate, your daddy, your sister, your brother. That would be great. But yeah, as far as the first day, I think we hit we hit 1,200 in like 40 minutes maybe. So that's never happened before. So I'm very excited. Uh what platforms do you plan to distribute it on? So pretty much mostly YouTube right now. One of the stretch goals, and this is a secret because we haven't got to the stretch goals yet and haven't put any out there. It'd be nice to do a nice Blu-ray with some behind the scenes stuff and some, like how the old Disney movies used to be with a little fun menu probably of me saying, "I'm so tired," and drinking my coffee, or having Sarah say, "I'm so tired," and drinking her coffee or something, and have some behind the scenes, like, even, Spider-Man, shoot, and I said that so blasé. I love those movies, Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, something like that. Um, and, we are offering a Skelly box that has a lot of that stuff, so it'd be nice to, along with the art book, have, a Blu-ray added into that. So I hope we can meet that stretch goal, because I think that would be great. Like, get it out. I also, you can probably hear my husband laughing in the room. Sorry. Another thing that I did want to do is I wanted to create my own indie streaming um, service or channel. So I'm still working on that and working out the kinks and the money part of it. But it would be nice to have like indie, just like the indie community get together and us not being at each other's throats, which, sometimes that happens. Like, there can be more than one indie out there, but it would be nice if we can get the indie community out there and we can have our own little platform that we can stream stuff on, just to get that visibility, and to, definitely get that Netflix, when you finish something, it's like, "Why don't you try this?" And so you get exposed to other indies that you might not know that are going on around there, so it would be nice, and I am working on a platform for streaming right now. That's just, I keep it on the back burner because money situations, it is a lot of money, so, um, but definitely, I'll be streaming on YouTube. um, I don't want anything, like, behind a paywall or anything. I don't like that aspect of it. I think, you know, once we get funded, and I say once we get funded, not if we get funded. Once we get funded, it would be nice to start releasing stuff on YouTube, and I don't want anybody to ever have to, like, pay to be like, "Oh, episode 3 is out. You wanna pay for it?" It's nice to make money. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to make money, but I want this passion project to be out there, and I want it to be seen. So, if we just need to get the funding in the front end, to get it out, you know, I'm willing to just do that, and if we don't get funding, which I don't even wanna speak on that, it will still be me putting money out. It just will delay everything, and I really don't wanna delay Skelly that much. That's the thing. I don't wanna delay Skelly much more, because I feel like right now is when we kinda need it, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying that Skelly is the cure all, but we're just in a place right now that's just kinda, it's not a good place, and I just think that a lot of people growing up, or kids growing up now, just kinda need Skelly in a way, especially with what the message of Skelly is, and what we're putting out with the heart and the funny and the mental health aspects of it. I just think that the world really kinda needs it right now, with everything going on, and, I try not to get into politics or anything like that, so just with everything going on in the world and just everything, I just think Skelly is that love letter, and it is that hug, that we all might need at the end of the day when we come home from work and we're just like, "Ugh, I can't do it anymore, I just can't." It's that hug, and it's that friend, and it's that tub of ice cream that you need, you know? So all episodes, right now, the question is, sorry, how long do you anticipate the pilot episode to be? It's 11 minutes. All episodes are 11 minutes. For this, season, there's only gonna be 7 episodes, and they're gonna be 11 minutes long, because I feel like that is a good amount of time, to build Sarah's story, and also it is a therapist visit if your therapist really sucks. And I throw out 7 episodes. I think I throw that out a lot. A lot of people haven't caught that breadcrumb yet. I want people to figure that out. 7 episodes for a reason. I need people to figure that's a breadcrumb, people. Also, there's an Easter egg in the Skelly theme song, if you guys haven't seen it, it's right at the beginning. Yes, 7 is a special number for something. But what is the question? Has anyone found the Easter egg? Not anybody who's part of the team. Has anyone found what the Easter egg is in the beginning of the Skelly theme song? Has anyone found it? No? Probably not. I had to point it out to the team, like, I had to say, "You really have to look for it." So, you really have to look for it. It's there, and it's funny. Well, I think it's funny. You might not think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. Um, well, until more questions come in, I can talk about Skelly, as far as, like, the launch. So I think we're doing well. It's my first time ever launching anything on Kickstarter, so it's a learning experience and setting stuff up to stream, you all know, it's a learning experience, so I'm learning a lot doing this, and, it's I'm here for the ride, but I can see how people, are anxious. Like, I put in a lot of work, and not just me, everybody on the team. We all put in a lot of work for this buildup. Like, we've been doing this for a good 2 years, building everything up and doing promotion and everything. So we've been doing this for a good 2 years, and I hope it shows. And just in the last couple of months, we've just been churning and burning and doing a bunch of stuff, to make you guys happy and keep everybody engaged and entertained. What is your long-term goal? Keep the production under your own belt or like Netflix or something? It would be nice to just keep it. Um, it would be nice to just keep it under my belt. But I don't know if you know about Glitchworks. They did Murder Drones and Digital Circus. They actually have done something no other indie production has done. They're keeping their show indie, but Netflix is distributing it. So the show will still come out on YouTube, which is where they had started. So all the episodes will come out on YouTube. So 4 episodes right now, and then it'll also stream on Netflix. So they control everything like that. So, if I could work out a cool licensing deal like that, that would be great, but I don't ever really want to excuse me I don't ever really want to sell my IP to anybody, not this one. Maybe other ones like Carbon or something if I just, had a wild hair and wanted to get that one made. Um, but yeah, no, probably mm-mm. It would be other stories, just not Skelly. Skelly to me is very personal, and I love it, which I've committed the first cardinal sin is that you never fall in love with something that you make. Um, but I have. I've fallen in love with Skelly, and I would rather, I would rather not take it to a studio and have them tell me what I need to change to get people to like it before I've even tried anything, you know? I have the characters set up the way they are because they all tell their own story. I don't wanna take it to a studio where they say, "Oh, well, right now we've learned that a lot of animations are skewing towards young white men, so go ahead and make Sarah a young white man who's probably in elementary school." No, not doing it, you know? And at some point, if they're paying you the money, you can say no to a point, but they're gonna wanna see some of their return in there because I mean, they're paying you the money, so they're gonna make you do things. I mean, it's been proven, it's been shown, you know, it's been done. Uh, it's a long tested truth. Or they cancel you, which is also not fun. Um, but I have made my peace with that if Skelly was to get picked up by a studio and Say it went through a whole 1st season and got canceled. I've said that many a time. I am at peace because as long as the 1st season is told, we've told Sarah's story, so I'm okay with that. I'm would hope that they wouldn't cancel it, but you never know what could happen with, studios, you know? They're canceling a lot of good shows or taking them off streaming services left and right. Nobody really knows why. Um, I don't know. Bad money moves. I don't know. I can't really speak on that. Um, but yeah, let's see what else. I don't know if you guys saw any of the Skelly merch. We've got really good merch out there. We've got a Skelly mug that comes with a skull spoon, which I think is amazing. Let's see what else. We got shirts, which I was wearing my Skelly shirt earlier, but I ate dinner. So, we got shirts that can say honorary member on the back, or it can have your name on the back or anything. And let's see, we got a Skelly box that I've mocked up, and it'll have little bones, little independent little bones that come in there with all the stuff that you get. Um, what else? We've got, hotel keys. We got a hotel key, so anybody who's pledged in the first 48 hours, you got 48 hours, you will get a Skelly hotel key chain that will, go there. We're also doing keychains for the drinks that everyone has at the bar. So everyone has a special drink named after them. So we are doing enamel pins of the drinks and keychains of the drinks. So the drink, it'll be a little drink, and then it'll have a little lime or a lemon or an orange hanging off, or a strawberry or a cherry, something like that. Um, so I think those are pretty cute. What else do we have? I mean, Hot Nana's Skinder date. I mean, I think that is the best one because it's gonna be fun. I've made an app called Skinder, and it works, and it will be on the Apple App Store, um, but you can't download it. It's not gonna download anything. It will show up on the Apple App Store, but it is going to be Skinder, and it's for all her dates, that Hot Nana likes to go on to because she's old and she realizes that she can only go around the world once, so why not have fun while you're doing it and go around with other people? So she's the, hot grandma who likes to go to Johnson's, and Johnson's is this world's version of Hooters. It's just reversed where it's men. And she goes to Johnson's, sorry. There's men waiters there, and, she has already won, a shirt that says, "Show me your tots." So she wears her shirt there all the time, and her favorite meal is the 9-incher hot dog because 12 inches is just too crass. So she gets the 9-incher every time she goes. So with tots. So show me your tots. So I think those will be the funniest episodes is when we go in and we see Hot Nana and her dates. And, she has Juan Pedro, her cat, that we don't really know if it's dead or not. It looks like it's dead, but we don't know if Juan Pedro is dead or not. But she throws Juan Pedro around like a shawl and wears him like a shawl when he gets fancy. So Juan Pedro is definitely the Hot Nana Juan Pedro episodes will be hilarious. So if you like seeing an old woman, which who doesn't, you like seeing old ladies who don't wear bras and possibly don't wear underwear, but they have a shirt that's just enough to cover everything it needs to cover, you're in for a fun treat. Hot Nana is fun. And of course, I am Hot Nana, which I didn't wanna be Hot Nana, so, I really wanted Kathleen Turner to be Hot Nana, which if no one knows who Kathleen Turner is, if you've seen, the show Friends, she played Chandler's mom. I really wanted Kathleen Turner 'cause she has a really deep voice. Um, but yeah, no, if I coulda got Kathleen Turner I actually really wanted Harvey Fierstein. the guy from Mrs. Doubtfire and also Mulan, but he was in Mrs. Doubtfire, and they made him a matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. So I really wanted Harvey Firestein, but he won't answer my emails. So if anybody has connections with Harvey Firestein or Kathleen Turner, please, because my hot nana, I don't know, my hot nana is questionable, but she's there, but it's questionable. Um, but yeah, Kathleen Turner or Harvey Firestein, those were my 2 people that I wanted for hot nana. But, money-wise, it's me. Sorry. You guys gonna have to deal with me once again. Fine. Um, yeah, any more questions? And I know I'm going a little bit over because we started a little bit late. So, I wanted to give everybody enough time to ask their questions. Um, and I invited people, but I don't know how to get them in here. I don't know what happened. I don't know how to get people in here, so I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, I tell everybody I'm old. Hey, Slim Jim. Thanks for coming in for the support. And everybody, thank you all for the support. I really do appreciate it. My dog is going to bark now. I'm gonna text my husband and make sure that he lets the dog out because he's being annoying. Um, but yeah, no, I couldn't do any of this without you. Um, Sorry. This seems very disingenuous as I send a text and say, I really couldn't have done this all without you. No, I y'all are the backbone of this. Like, definitely. We wouldn't be where we are, without your guys' donations and talking about Skelly and getting it out there to the masses. Like, I appreciate everything that y'all have done. And if we can keep going till we're funded, like, I think you guys will love Skelly. And just give it a chance. Like, it's totally worth it. So let's just work on getting funded and having fun. That's my top thing is have fun. Getting funded could come second. I know Christina would probably say getting funded first, but let's have fun and then get funded. What's your favorite part of the animation process? When I have worked so hard that I pass out. That's my favorite part. Or when I have to chug 2 Red Bulls, an energy booster, and then it's Russian roulette if I'm gonna die that night or not because I've had so much energy drinks. Can you tell us a bit about your experience with Carmen Infinity? Oh, yes, Carmen Infinity. They're amazing. So they're my studio in India, not my studio. I call them my studio because they're mine. Carmen Infinity is amazing. Great bunch of guys. And Blessy does the whole, getting everybody together, like raining cats. So Blessy is reining the cats in, but Carmen Infinity is a great company to work with, and they will work with you. Super sweet guys. And they love to get together and have meetings and show you what they've worked on, and everything that they put out is amazing. Like, I don't have any complaints about Carmen Infinity. In fact, I think if anybody would like to get anything animated, if you don't want to use any of my animators, because I don't want you to use any of my animators here because I love them so much. I really, really don't want you to use Carmen Infinity because I love them as well. But if you do want to use Carmen Infinity for your next project, please shoot me an email and I can shoot you an email. I can shoot you PK's email, and PK is my contact. PK made the mistake of giving me his cell phone. So PK gets a lot of my crazy text all day when I'm like, what do you think about this? Like, I told him about my skeleton, my real life skeleton, and putting him on the chair in the towel, and he was like, "I don't know what you're talking about, Kayla," and I'm like, "Yep, yep, 'cause I'm gonna do it." Um, yeah. So I don't know if you guys wanna keep going or you guys wanna shut it down. I know everybody's probably getting ready for the thing I don't talk about. I don't know if that's started yet, the thing I don't talk about politics. I don't know if that started yet, but I don't know if anybody has to get to bed too. It's 8:15 here. I'll go to about 8:30. How about that? We'll go to about 8:30 and then I'll let everyone go. Unless you just want to jump off now, that's fine. If you do want to jump off now, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Keep spreading the news about Skelly and tell everybody that they need to donate because we need this to be done. I'm looking at my tidbit right now and we're at 22 backers. So we're at $1,929. So I had to take it out of my web browser because I kept refreshing every second. I can't do that. So I put it on my tidbit and that way it cycles every 5 minutes. Um, how do I go about selecting my production team? Here, um, really, it was just me asking on Twitter if anybody would like to work with me on Skelly, and I just happened to pick the cream of the crop. I got the best of the best. So, I just happened to, get the best of the best and we're killing it, you know. So, yeah, a lot of people are on Twitter, well, X, sorry. A lot of people are on X or on Blue Sky or Instagram. You just put out an open call and just be like, "Hey, you guys want to do stuff? Oh, wait, no. They told me there's a way you're supposed to do it. Don't ask because then you'll get a lot of bots, so probably don't ask that way. But make it weird where you're asking. But yeah, no, I just asked. And like I said, I got the cream of the crop. I couldn't ask for a better team. I couldn't ask for a better team of voice actors, couldn't ask for a better team of animators, couldn't ask for a better team of marketing people. Everybody has been amazing. We have not gotten any VA questions. That's weird. No voice actor question. Well, I'll talk about my voice actors. I think they're amazing. The cast is great. We've got Lakira Porter as Sarah. Lakira is the next Cree Summer. She hates when I say that. She is the indie Cree Summer. She's still on just about every indie project now. She's done some work for Netflix. We have Gerald Hill, who is also been around the block with Lakira, and actually, they actually find themselves working in tandem a lot. Gerald being her father, and she usually voices the daughter. And it just happened to be, funnily enough, not how I wanted it to work out, but Gerald came in and Gerald wanted to voice a character. And I said, I have the perfect character for you, but I don't want to typecast you. And he said, what is it? And I said, so I want you to be Sarah's dad. And he was like, oh, I'm used to it. He's like, I got that dad voice. So those two, they're the dream team together. I've got Jalen Askins. He is a triple threat. Like he came through and knocked down all the voice acting, demos. Like he was amazing. A tour de force. We have Nathan Wagner, who is friends with Jalen. They're both so great, and what makes them so great, and what works out for Skelly is the fact that their characters will be interacting and fighting each other. And this was before I even had my meeting with Nathan, knowing that he knew Jalen, and they run in the same circles. So I was like, "This is gonna be great. Y'all can record lines together, and y'all can really be angry." So, like, they're amazing. We got Brenna. Brenna also runs in the same circles with Jalen and Nathan. She's gonna be Bonnie. We've got, Abigail Carey. She's playing Fiery Miss J and Amy Winehouse, so her doing her accents are amazing. Um, we've got uh, Angel sorry, Ray Haven Angel, sorry, she's new. She has come on board as, Roni, Roni Teagues. We've got Jelzy, she will be playing Ruchi. We've got, Ren Anderson, she'll be playing Wanda, who is the antagonist of the whole show, or so we think. So she's playing Wanda, who is the, very woke, uh, very woke VP of the Quill design agency where Sarah works. Um, who else? I don't wanna give a whole bunch of people away. Of course, we have Julius Caesar. His favorite drink is the green drink. Um, so yeah, my voice cast is awesome too. I got the cream of the crop there too. Oh, we have, Vanessa Benoit. She plays Anne Boleyn. She is amazing as Anne Boleyn. Like, I don't even have to give her lines, and she comes up with some great ad libs. She's amazing. She plays a head in a bowl. I mean, what more could I ask? You know? So she's great. Like, everybody on the team is great and they've been great, they're gonna be great, and they're gonna continue to be great. So, like, this show is gonna be great. I know I keep saying it like I'm Tony the Tiger, but it's just my excitement. Like, I'm excited for you guys to see it and to see what we have working. Um, and I hope you guys are excited to see it too, um, and wanna see it be made. Um, but yeah. I I guess that's it, unless anyone has any last minute questions. Um, if you haven't donated, go donate now. Um, first 48 hours, you get a special hoti key, hotel key, with every donation you get. So that's awesome. Um, if you know anybody who wants to be an executive producer and who has $5,000, they can get that. Who doesn't want an executive producer credit? That's amazing, and you get all the stuff? You get everything, plus every stretch gift that would possibly come in. It's amazing. I know, take my money. I'm gonna even date myself and go back to the critic. Buy my book. Buy my book. So, yeah, just, um yes. Do you plan on releasing, like, Skelly shorts along the way? Yes, we have actually done, 2 shorts. We did one called, Mistaken Identity, which I like to call skeletal profiling, but we've already done one called Mistaken Identity and, Invisible. And so we have a lot more planned. They, of course, will not be in full color, but they are fully voiced. They have music and, they're animatic style, but they're funny. So if you haven't seen Mistaken Identity or Invisible, you should go to my page, my YouTube page, which is this one, and go find the short. We also did one where they're dancing. We're doing a lot of meme stuff now, to get everybody engaged and everything. So you'll see a lot of meme stuff, but then you'll also see a lot of shorts. And in the coming weeks, we are going to start introducing the characters. So we will have the characters reading their bios and their voices. So that'll be coming in the next couple of weeks as we keep going through. So you'll be introduced to everybody. And I can't wait for you to meet all the crazy people. And when I say crazy people, I'm talking about the people who work in the design agency. I'm not talking about the people in the bar. I can't wait for you guys to meet like Doug Lind, Doug Lind Rouse, or Big Ike, or Wanda, or Blaine, or Rucci. Um, I just think you guys are gonna have a lot of fun with them, and I can't really wait for you guys to see Hot Nana and just what she does in her day. Like, what goes on? Like, we're definitely gonna have an episode where it's like, what happens when Sarah's away at work? What does Hot Nana do all day? We're definitely gonna play with one of those episodes where it's, "What does Hot Nana do all day?" And then we're definitely gonna break it down again and do, "What does Juan Pedro do while Hot Nana and Sarah is away?" Spoiler alert, nothing. He does nothing because we don't know if he's dead or not. Nothing. So, I think if you guys just stick with it and just spread it around and we get funded, you guys will not be disappointed. Um And that's my sell. You guys will not be disappointed. If you're disappointed, you guys can come to my house. I'm gonna make some cookies, and we can talk about why you're disappointed. And I'm pretty sure I'd change your mind, especially with my cookies. I make really good cookies. So, um, I don't know. Fun fact about me, I used to wanna be a bounty hunter growing up. Didn't even wanna be an animator. I was just like, "I'm gonna be a bounty hunter." Then I realized I caved to peer pressure, so it wasn't gonna be a good wasn't a good job for me to be a bounty hunter. Then I wanted to be a private investigator. Then I realized I couldn't do that either. So yeah, animation was the only way to go. That wasn't good at math. So animation was the only way to go, you know? Ah. So, all right, guys, it's 8:26. So, unless any are you guys still looking for voice actors? Yes, buttered popcorn, we are. Um, and when I say looking for voice actors, you can pay, the donation amount, which is an investment, so I'm not gonna say pay, it's an investment. So, if you donate to the Hot Nana Skinder Date, tier, you will get to voice one of her Skinder dates that is obviously gonna be freaked out by dating Hot Nana. So, yeah, you have an opportunity to be animated, have your own profile, and voice a character. So, yeah, technically, we are still looking for voice actors because we need a lot of people to be on her Skinder dates because she likes to get around, or she just gets around. I don't know. Um, Anybody else have any last minute questions? Well, I always do, like, ask me anythings, like, during the week. They're just random. Sometimes when I'm just sitting there, um, I'll just do ask me anything. So, if you guys have any other questions, just look for those ask me anything little spurts I get. And you can ask me like, you can literally ask me anything. I'll tell you just about everything. I'm an open book. And I have to fight really hard to not spoil it for you. So, you literally could probably ask me anything and I'm gonna answer. Will I spoil it for you? I'm gonna try not to. Um, but I do wanna say if we do get funded, and if we do get more, I just wanted to let people know that we do have some very good stretch goals coming. Um, More funding helps me get out there and get to conventions and get more people to see Skelly and possibly want to donate money and buy stuff for Skelly. I'm hoping to start going to conventions next year and do panels or be in the artist alleys like I used to with a nice setup and everything. And I will have a gonna have a monitor there. I'm trying to have a monitor that will play the theme song and play all of the behind the scenes stuff that we've gotten so far. So, if I happen to come to your neck of the woods and I'm at a con that you're close to, just stop by and say hi and talk. I like talking. So just come stop by and say hi. It'd be great to see you. Great to meet everybody there. So all right, guys, I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna go to bed. No, I might play Switch. No, Steam. No, I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. So, all right, y'all. Thank you all for coming. I definitely appreciate it. And if you guys want to have another one of these streams again, we can do it anytime. I will prepare better, even though I've been preparing since the weekend. I still didn't get it right. But yeah, thank you all for coming. I definitely appreciate it. And um, I hope to see you guys again when Skelly gets funded. How about that? I'll see you guys then. Uh, Bye. I don't know how to end it. Bye.